David Rudiman not messing around tonight in Chicago. He drove around Clint Boyer for second, and he's beaten on Jeff Gordon's door for the lead.
He makes some time right here getting into turn 3. He dives to the bottom, picks up the gas, and was really good there for a lap or so. But Jeff's got that high line working right now and just got the momentum. And you heard these guys talk about this being a momentum racetrack. He has come from a ways back to run the leaders down.
David Rudiman's only victory coming last year at Charlotte. Very impressive there. Another 1.5 mile track. Jeff Gordon, one of the best all time at these kinds of facilities, but neither has won in 2010.
Rudiman's car works really good to the center.
Yeah.
When he's down there, you can see when he's down there on the bottom and he picks up the throttle, the car gets a little bit loose, and that's where he's losing that little bit of ground.
Yeah.
Getting off the corner because he's just getting a little bit loose there, Phil.
Yeah, guys, David Rudiman came into this race 170 points out, and it's a tale of what a season it could have been. 3 times he was running up in the top 5. They had engine problems. TRD brought a brand new intake manifold for this engine combination here. The guys say it's performed admirably. A lot more power as we see David Rudiman side by side for the lead with Jeff Gordon.
He's just been taking steps every lap.
Just can't close the deal from the middle off.
He may close it this time getting into this corner because he gets into turn 3 from that low side a lot better than Jeff does.
It's just that this is where Jeff starts rolling back around up on it. Right about here is where Jeff has some momentum.
You know, I tell you what, though, that double zero's been strong up off the corner because he maintains right there. He's able to lay on that door and just all but stop that 24 as he starts down the straightaway.
Just over 60 laps to go, and things are starting to get good on the track. Kevin Harvick, who had gone to the garage, is back out and joined the fray.
And the thing here is, and you know this, Wally, when you run down under somebody, you don't want to run lap after lap after lap because you use your stuff up.
Right, yeah.
Jeff's not using his stuff up. Jeff's just running his line. But you use your stuff up trying to get around him. You got to fall back in line, let your stuff cool off, and then come back and try him again. And you see right here, when he goes up to that high line and can run the same line that Jeff's running, he made decent time up off those corners the last couple of times. He's just got to let his stuff cool back down and then come back and try him again. That's what's so strange about these cars, as we talk about it all the time. Running somebody down and passing somebody are 2 totally different things. You know, it gets really excited at the end of the race, but you got to make that pass.
What's Gordon saying about it, Marty?
A little bit loose on entry, guys, and you guys can see and you've talked about how good he is from the middle of the corner off. That's where Jeff has really bragged on his race car all night long. But Jeff is going to fight for this because he made the comment when he got out front last time, it is way different out here with clean air. So that's really what Gordon's fighting here for. Not so much to lead, what's more that clean air.
And you know what, Rudiman, if he wanted to capitalize on that loose end, Marty, if Rudiman sees that, he should get right on the 24's tail as they go into the corner. That's going to make the car worse for the 24. If you just slip him up a little bit, it may be able to dive underneath him. But as a driver, you're looking at that 24 going, okay, where is your weakness? Where's your weak spot? And then if you find that weak spot, just like a boxer, you go after it.
You go after it, exactly. And right now, you know, he's sizing him up a little bit. You know what I mean? I think we saw that with Jimmy earlier. Jimmy just decided he was going to ride behind that one car for a while. Then obviously Jimmy's had trouble. But you see the double zero can close or has closed on him a couple of times whenever he really feels like it.
This is a memorable night for Jeff Gordon. This marks his 600th career start in the Sprint Cup Series. Entering tonight, the only driver in the top 6 in the standings in 2010 that had not won a race.
And should have. I mean, he should have multiple victories this year, the 24. They were good enough to win. They got beat on green-white checkers a couple of times. So, I mean, these guys, they should have some wins in the win column. There's no question about it.
I'd say second 8 times in 2010. That'll break your heart.
Guys, you know, as I watch these guys go side by side, battle lap after lap, I can't help but think here, probably in about 20 to 25 laps, should we stay green, this race could be determined on what happens on pit road. good pit stops, and oh, by the way, no mistakes.
The drivers look good on track, but as Larry pointed out, those guys on pit road could be the difference makers here tonight. While we were away, David Rudiman able to grab the race lead at Chicago.
Made it look pretty easy. And I think, Jeff just could not do anything with him here. And boy, I tell you what, when Rudiman got by him, he left him.
Yeah, once Rudiman had the whole racetrack, you saw right here, Jeff had finally he had worn him out. He just conceded the fact. He clears him right here, and Jeff gives him room as he slides up. And once David got by him, he did. He put 4 or 5 car lengths on him in that first lap.
Already an advantage of more than a second for David Rudiman. Getting ready to go around Greg Biffle, the driver who's been good throughout the night. Talked about an engine issue on this restart. He now goes a lap down. Biffle in 25th right now. When you get to this stage of the season, you can't help but talk about the points and not really what's happening at the front as much as you discuss that 8 to 15 area and those drivers that are trying to make their way into the chase. A lot of drivers have been written off. A couple of times we thought Casey Kane was done. He's been very good in recent weeks, and now you kind of have to bring David Rudiman back into the conversation.
But a lot of these guys, I don't even think they're even thinking about it. I think Rudiman's thinking about just winning races right now. There's a lot of teams that are like, listen, even if we get into the chase, we're not good enough to win the championship. So they're focusing in on winning races, and I think that's what you should be doing.
And that's what you should. I think Jeff Gordon, I heard somebody say Jeff made the quote, I'd rather have 5 race wins at this point in time and be farther back in points than where I am. And that tells you how important race wins are to these guys. Making the chase and being in the points and having an opportunity to race for that championship, that's huge. Don't get me wrong. But, sitting there with 5 or 6 wins, 18 races, 19 races into the season, that's big, man.
Well, you look at it. Would you rather be in the chase and just be 11th or 12th place car in the chase, or have a couple of victories? I would rather have the victories and not have a shot at the championship. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's like we said earlier. There are guys that are going to make the chase that just make the chase. Yeah. They don't have a shot at the championship. They're not chasers. And then there's guys, man, that's 3 wide. It's pretty stout right there. But when you look at it, there's guys, there's the 48 car, there's the 24 car, there's the 18 car on a regular basis, the 11. There's 6 or 7 cars up there. I thought the 2 car has shown strength in recent weeks. They're going to shoot for the championship. Those 5 or 6, and you might throw in 1 or 2 more, but there's going to be those other guys that are just going to be fighting for 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. And don't get me wrong. Man, I would like that on my resume. If I'm a Cup driver, I want to have that 7th place points finisher, that 10th place. But I also want to have that 5 or 6 win season, and I think that's what Jeff was saying.
This will be the battle for second. Jeff Gordon has it now, and closing behind is Clint Boyer. Boyer, with his run tonight, has jumped into the top 12. David Rudiman continues to lead at Chicago.